For 2,000 years, this ground was untouchable, not because it was sacred, but because no one dared to disturb it. In 2024, that rule was broken. They didn't dig for treasure. They weren't looking for gold. They found people, sealed, undisturbed, and hidden beneath the most famous monument in Petra. This ground wasn't protected by stone. It was protected by fear, because Petra isn't just an archaeological site. It's national identity, its pride, its economy. Millions come here every year, and every one of them stands on this exact spot, the forecourt of the Treasury. If something went wrong here, if the stone cracked, if the monument shifted, Jordan wouldn't just lose a monument. It would lose trust and billions in tourism. So the answer was always no. If you want the full story, not the tourist version, subscribe now and stay with me, because what they finally found under this ground is the reason the rule was broken. For decades, the story of Petra sounded simple. A city of tombs. Hundreds of graves carved into stone, and the most famous structure of all. The Treasury, the official view was clear. It was a facade, not a true tomb. No confirmed burials, nothing beneath the ground. That's why people stopped asking questions, because the story felt complete. That assumption collapsed in 2024. They didn't dig. They couldn't, so they listened. They sent signals into the stone and waited for the ground to answer. Most of what came back was expected. Water systems, natural cracks, nothing unusual. Then something appeared. Too straight, too regular, and too deep to be accidental. On paper, it was given a neutral name, but no one in that room thought it was neutral. At this point, the scans had done their job. They proved something was there. Now came the dangerous part, asking for permission to touch the untouchable. This wasn't a normal excavation. It was designed like surgery. No heavy tools, no rushing. Every grain of soil was documented. This wasn't one team. It was international. Because if anything went wrong, the damage would be permanent. This was the last moment they could stop. Once the first layer came away, once they started, there was no turning back. The first thing they saw wasn't a room. It was steps, descending, deliberate, sealed stonework, cut so precisely, air couldn't pass through. This space hadn't breathed for centuries. When the seal opened, cold air escaped, air untouched for nearly 2,000 years. Then they saw bone, a human skeleton. Then another, and another. 12 people, everyone intact. Grave goods placed by hand. Nothing looted, nothing disturbed. This wasn't a rumor. This was proof. If you want to follow this discovery all the way to its consequences, subscribe now. And leave a comment telling me this. Would you have opened this tomb, or left it sealed forever? This discovery wasn't shocking because of what was found. It was shocking because of what usually happens. Most tombs in Petra were opened long ago. Flooded. Collapsed. Stripped of anything that once mattered. But this one survived. No looters, no flood damage. No collapse. Everything exactly where it was placed. That doesn't happen by accident. This wasn't forgotten. It was sealed. So the question isn't what was found. It's who they were. They weren't tourists. They weren't accidental. They were placed deliberately. And they weren't all the same age. Adults, children, that alone raises questions. Now comes the careful part. DNA testing, looking for family connections. Asking if they were related or strangers, isotope analysis. It can show where someone lived. And what they ate. Until those results come back, all answers stay open. This is where the problem begins, because the treasury was never meant to be questioned. For years it was explained as a monument, a facade, not a burial, not connected to death, until now, because burials were found directly in front of it, placed with intention. So the questions change. Was it really just a monument? Or was it connected to burial rites? Was it symbolic control, a message carved in stone about who was remembered and who wasn't? This is where certainty ends. If you enjoy stories that don't hand you answers, subscribe. And in the comments, tell me which question matters more to you: monument, burial, or control. This discovery didn't expose chaos, it exposed control. The Nabateans were experts at hiding what mattered. Water systems, buried beneath stone, burials, hidden in plain sight. But what they hid best wasn't stone. It was power. Who mattered, who was remembered, and who was deliberately erased. This tomb didn't disappear. It was hidden. If they wanted this unseen, they succeeded for 2,000 years. Even now, the most important questions remain unanswered. Why here? Why place a tomb beneath the most visible monument in Petra? Why seal it? Not mark it, not revisit it? Why leave it untouched for centuries? Through floods, through looting, through the collapse of empires. And why now? Why did it wait until modern technology to finally be seen? There are no easy answers, and that's the point. Some discoveries don't explain the past. They expose how much we still don't understand. And Petra just asked a new one. This discovery didn't add a detail to Petra's story. It changed the story. Guides can't describe this place the same way anymore. Because now they know people were buried beneath their feet. Researchers are adjusting assumptions, not rewriting everything, but reopening questions they thought were settled. Petra is no longer just architecture. It's evidence of decisions made and choices hidden for generations. Beauty was the cover. The truth was underground. After everything uncovered, after 2,000 years of silence, after burials placed with intention, one question refuses to go away. Not how it was built, not who built it, but why it stands here at all. So ask yourself this: what was the treasury actually built to guard? Some questions don't belong to historians. They belong to the living. So here's the one I'll leave you with. If you had the authority, would you open the next sealed chamber, or leave it buried forever?